I can't believe you did that. Emily shouted, her voice echoing throughout the small living room, where the walls seemed to sense her pain. She stood in the middle of the room, gripping her phone tightly, while her heart felt as if it were being crushed by an unimaginable shock. Everything around her spun, and in that moment, her world crumbled. Michael, her husband, stepped back, his eyes filled with confusion and helplessness. Emily, I just wanted to help, he tried to justify himself, but his words couldn't soothe the rising anger within her. A month ago, their lives were still normal. Emily and Michael had been married for 5 years, a time long enough to build beautiful memories and dream of the future. They had no children, but their love was always filled with dreams and plans. Emily had always trusted Michael, the husband she considered her rock in life. But now, that trust was seriously threatened. Who is she? Emily demanded, her voice hardening, as if trying to choke back the emotions surging within her. She didn't need to say the name, but the presence of Samantha, Michael's female friend, had become a haunting shadow in her mind. She knew their relationship had crossed the line of friendship, and now it had become a secret she could not accept. She's just a friend, Michael replied. But his tone lacked the strength to convince her. She's struggling and needed help. I just wanted to help her. Help? How? By sending $20,000 from our joint account that I never even checked? Emily felt as if she were sinking into a nightmare. Those cold numbers were like a dagger piercing her heart, making her feel both hurt and alone. I made it clear that I didn't agree with this. And you still did it. Why don't you respect my decision? Michael lowered his head, unable to meet her gaze. I just thought that. You thought you could do whatever you wanted without telling me? Emily interjected, tears streaming down her face. She couldn't believe that the person she loved most could betray her trust so easily. And now, she's told me that you're not even on the business license. It's all just a scam. In that moment, Emily felt as if she were standing in the middle of a battlefield, where everything she had once considered solid had now shattered. She was not only losing money but also losing faith in the husband she had loved and trusted. Every beautiful memory they shared now felt like broken pieces, scattered like shards of glass across the floor. I can't keep going like this, she said, her voice now weak. I need time to think. She turned away, unwilling to see the look of regret in Michael's eyes. She felt trapped in a storm, where everything was chaotic and uncontrollable. Emily walked out of the room, feeling as if everything was collapsing around her. She didn't know what to do next. She had once thought that love could overcome any challenge, but now, she was unsure of that. She needed time to find answers to the unspoken questions that her heart was screaming. Why did Michael do this? Why didn't he respect her? And could their love survive this shock? As she stood by the window, looking out at the dim lights of the city, Emily felt a deep loneliness. She had once believed her life was a beautiful love story, but now, it had turned into an unimaginable tragedy. She had to face the truth, but that truth was too painful to accept. Did she have enough strength to overcome this challenge? Or would it mark the beginning of a new chapter in her life that she never wanted? Silence enveloped her, leaving only the sound of her own sighs, and Emily knew that this battle had only just begun. Emily stood by the window, the city lights twinkling in her eyes, yet failing to erase the sorrow weighing down her heart. She felt as if she were trapped in a maze with no way out, where every path led to pain. She couldn't stay in this house, where every wall held memories of a love that had now become a cruel joke. After leaving the room, she decided to take a walk around the neighborhood, hoping the fresh air would clear her mind. But every step she took only intensified her thoughts about Michael and Samantha. Why had they done this? Why didn't Michael think about her feelings? Those questions felt like daggers stabbing at her heart, deepening her anguish. As she passed a cafe, Emily suddenly spotted Samantha sitting by the window, laughing and chatting with a strange man. A tightening grip around her throat made it hard to breathe. As if the world had come crashing down around her. She couldn't believe that this woman could live so happily while her life was sinking into tragedy. What right does she have to destroy someone else's happiness? Emily wondered, filled with anger. Determined, she turned away from the cafe, her resolve hardening. She wouldn't let her love be destroyed by a shameless woman. Emily needed to uncover the truth. She wouldn't allow Michael and Samantha to escape responsibility so easily. She needed evidence. Needed to know exactly what they had done together. When she returned home, Emily opened her laptop and began searching for information about Samantha. She knew that Samantha was a pole dance instructor but didn't know much more than that. She found Samantha's social media page and scrolled through her photos and posts. Each image brought a wave of discomfort, as if they were mocking her pain. She's living the life I was meant to have, Emily thought, filled with jealousy and resentment. After hours of searching, she discovered a post about an upcoming performance by Samantha. The woman was hosting a big event at a popular nightclub in the city. This is my chance, Emily told herself. She had to go there. Not just to see Samantha perform but to learn more about their relationship. As night fell, Emily put on a simple yet alluring black dress, reminding herself that she needed to present her best self. She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety, but also a strong determination. She couldn't let Michael and Samantha continue living in deceit without being exposed. She would be the one to reveal the truth. When she arrived at the club, the flashing lights and booming music enveloped her. It felt like stepping into a completely different world, where everyone was enjoying life. But inside her, tension and worry continued to mount. She found a seat near the stage where she could easily observe everything. As Samantha appeared on stage, the lights illuminated her face, and Emily felt a knife stab her heart. Samantha looked radiant, confident, and alluring. The woman danced as if nothing was wrong. As if no one was suffering because of her actions. A wave of jealousy and hatred surged within Emily. She couldn't sit idly by and watch this woman waste the freedom she had stolen from her. When the performance ended, Emily decided she had to confront Samantha. She couldn't let this pain haunt her any longer. She quickly made her way backstage, where Samantha was preparing to leave. Samantha, Emily called out, her voice strong yet tinged with anxiety. Samantha turned, surprise and a hint of fear flashing across her face. Emily, what are you doing here? Samantha asked, trying to maintain her composure. I came to talk to you, Emily replied, not allowing her tension to hold her back. I want to know why you did this to me. Samantha looked at her, a smirk appearing on her lips. Did what? I didn't do anything. Michael and I are just friends. Friends? You think I'll believe that? Emily snapped. You stole my husband. And now you dare stand here and lie? Samantha took a step back, her expression suddenly serious. I didn't intend to steal him. Michael came to me when he felt you no longer cared for him. Emily felt as if she had been slapped in the face. What are you talking about? I've always loved him, but he's the one who betrayed me. Maybe, but, Samantha tried to explain. But Emily wouldn't give her the chance. No more excuses. I won't let you continue living in this lie. I will find out the truth. Emily shouted, and then she turned and walked away. Leaving Samantha standing there, her eyes wide with shock. As she left the club, Emily felt as if she had just fought a battle. She had not only confronted Samantha but also faced the complex emotions brewing within her. She needed to uncover the truth, but that could mean facing Michael once again. Is it worth it? She wondered, filled with conflict. She had once loved Michael, but everything had changed now. She couldn't let this pain continue to drag on. She had to find her own path, even if it led to difficult decisions. Emily knew that this fight had only just begun, and she wouldn't stop until she uncovered the truth. Emily couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned in bed, her mind swirling with chaotic thoughts. Images of Michael and Samantha, the lies, and the pain kept flooding her heart, making her feel as if she were drowning in a dark ocean. She knew she had to confront Michael, but the thought terrified her. Did she have the strength to hear his explanations? Had everything gone too far to be salvaged? The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight streamed through the window, Emily decided she could no longer delay. She needed to uncover the truth. Not just for herself but for the love she once had for Michael. Rising with determination, she prepared for the confrontation she knew would change everything. She arrived at Michael's office that afternoon, her heart racing but her resolve firm. Upon entering, the atmosphere felt heavier than usual. Michael was sitting behind his desk, staring out the window as if trying to escape reality. "Emily," he turned, surprise flickering across his face. "What are you doing here?" "We need to talk," Emily said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "About Samantha. About us." Michael sighed, his expression tense. "You don't understand." "No, you're the one who doesn't understand," Emily interrupted, her anger rising. "Why did you do this? Why did you betray me?" Michael stood up and walked toward her, but Emily stepped back, unwilling to let him near. "You can't just stand there and say it doesn't matter. You hurt me, Michael. I need to know why." "Okay," he said, his voice dropping. "I felt lonely. You were too busy with work. And I felt abandoned. Samantha was there for me when I needed someone. And you thought cheating on me was the best solution?" Emily asked, tears beginning to fall. "You can't tell me you love her. I can't accept that." "That's not love," Michael said, his eyes filled with regret. "It was just a moment of weakness. I was wrong, and I'm so sorry. I want to go back, to fix everything." Emily felt her heart being torn apart. She had once loved him, but everything had changed now. "I don't know if I can trust you anymore," she sobbed. "Every time I see you, I'll just remember this pain." "You can trust me," Michael pleaded, stepping closer. "I'll do anything to prove that I deserve a second chance." Emily shook her head, feeling as if she were standing at a crossroads. She could choose to forgive him, but that would mean living with the pain and doubt. Or she could leave him. But that would mean giving up the love she had once cherished. "I don't know what to do," she said, her voice trembling. "I can't keep living like this. We can get through this together," Michael said, taking her hand. "Just give me a chance. I'll prove I'm worthy." But Emily felt a strong urge rising within her. She needed to know more about the relationship between Michael and Samantha. "I need to meet her," she said, determined. "I need to hear the truth from her own mouth." "Emily, no!" Michael exclaimed, his face filled with panic. "That's not the solution." "I don't care," she replied, her anger flaring. "If you can't tell me the truth, then I'll find out for myself." She turned and walked away, not allowing Michael the chance to stop her. As she exited the office, her heart was filled with determination but also anxiety. She knew that meeting Samantha wouldn't be easy, but she had to do it. Emily made her way to the club where Samantha worked. She felt as if she were entering a battlefield. Standing outside the door, her heart raced, but she couldn't back down. She had decided to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it might be. Once inside, the lively atmosphere and booming music overwhelmed her senses. She spotted Samantha in the corner, surrounded by a group of friends. The other woman looked so carefree, but Emily couldn't let that deter her. "Samantha!" Emily called out, drawing all eyes toward her. Samantha turned, surprise flashing across her face upon seeing Emily. "What are you doing here?" she asked, trying to maintain her composure. "I need to talk to you," Emily said, her tone resolute. "About Michael." "There's nothing to talk about," Samantha replied, attempting to evade the confrontation. "I don't think so," Emily said, stepping closer. "You've hurt me, and I need to know why." "You don't understand," Samantha said, her calm demeanor shifting to worry. "I didn't want to cause this. Michael and I are just friends." "Friends? You think I'll believe that?" Emily snapped, filled with rage. "You stole my husband. I need to know what you really did with him." Samantha took a step back, panic beginning to show on her face. "I didn't mean to steal him. He came to me when you didn't care about him anymore." Emily felt as though everything was crashing down around her. "So, he lied to both of us?" she asked, anger surging within her. "Maybe," Samantha admitted. "I don't know. I just wanted to help him, but now everything has gone too far." Emily felt like she was standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to make a life-altering decision. She could choose to forgive Michael and try to rebuild their relationship, or she could leave him and start anew. "Do you think I should forgive him?" Emily asked, her voice weak. "I can't decide for you," Samantha said, her gaze sincere. "But if you love him, maybe you should give him a chance." Emily felt as though she were at a pivotal moment. Her heart raced. But she also felt torn between two worlds. Ultimately, she knew that this decision would not only affect her but also Michael and Samantha. "Thank you for talking to me," Emily said, her heart heavy with emotion. She turned away, unsure of where to go next, but she knew her journey was far from over. She needed to find her own path, even if it meant facing the hardest decisions ahead. As she stepped out of the club, it felt as if a storm had passed, but the sky remained cloudy. Emily understood that she needed to uncover the truth and decide her future. Would she have enough strength to forgive Michael and reclaim the love she had lost, or would she choose a new path? A fresh start for herself? That question lingered in the air, and only time would provide the answer. Emily stepped out of the club, the outside air cold and damp. She took a deep breath, trying to shake off the whirlwind of emotions rising within her. She had met Samantha, had heard what she had to say, but the biggest question still hung in her mind: did she have the strength to forgive Michael? She walked down the street, each step echoing the beat of her heart, carrying with it pain and uncertainty. The image of Michael, his eyes filled with remorse, haunted her. She recalled the happy moments they had shared, the times they had laughed together, and the promises they had made to each other. But now, everything seemed to be shattered by betrayal. "I love you," she whispered, her voice like an echo from the past. "But what have you done to that love?" She paused in front of a small cafe where she and Michael had spent many joyful mornings. The familiar atmosphere felt suffocating. She stepped inside, searching for a secluded corner to sit. The aroma of coffee brought back memories of happy mornings, but now it only intensified the ache in her heart. As she sat down, she pulled out her phone and scrolled through their photos. A happy smile, tight embraces, sweet moments. She wondered if she could ever return to those days. But the image of Samantha lingered, like a ghost that refused to be exorcised. Was it all a lie, she pondered. "Emily?" A familiar voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back to reality. She looked up to see Michael standing there, a worried expression on his face. "You shouldn't be here alone." "You don't have the right to say that," she replied, her tone icy. "You abandoned me." "I'm sorry," Michael said, stepping closer. "I didn't realize how big my mistake was. Can you give me a chance to explain?" "Explain?" She laughed bitterly, tears beginning to streak down her cheeks. "What is there to explain? You betrayed me." "I know," he said, his voice dropping. "But I want you to know that I still love you." I was wrong. And I'll do anything to make it right. Love? She repeated, anger and pain surging within her. If you love me, why did you let everything go so far? Because I was weak, Michael admitted. His gaze sincere. I didn't know how to face my loneliness. But I've realized that you are the one I need. Emily felt as if she were caught in a storm. She wanted to believe him. But fear and doubt gnawed at her mind. If you love me, why choose her? She asked, her voice trembling. Because I didn't know how to love you properly, Michael confessed. His voice thick with emotion. I let my weakness lead me, and now I have to pay the price. She felt her heart being torn apart. So you think I can forgive you? Go back to how things were? You don't have to decide right now, Michael said, moving closer, but she stepped back, maintaining her distance. Give us time. Let me show you that I can change. Emily stared into his eyes, feeling a battle raging within her. She loved him, but the pain of betrayal still lingered, like an unhealed wound. I don't know if I can live with this, she said, her voice softening. You don't have to go through it alone, Michael said, his gaze earnest. I'll be here, ready to wait until you're ready. She felt time stand still. Everything around them faded away, leaving just the two of them in a silent space. She knew this decision would not only affect her but also Michael's life. Could she open her heart again? Or would she choose the path of leaving to seek a new beginning? I need time, she said, her voice gentler now. I can't make a decision right now. I will wait, Michael replied, hope shining in his eyes. No matter how long it takes, I won't give up. Emily offered a faint smile, feeling a part of her wanting to believe in that promise. But inside, she still felt an unshakable anxiety. Would true love be able to overcome all this pain, or was it just a beautiful dream stolen away by betrayal? As Michael turned to leave, she remained seated in the cafe, feeling as if she were standing at a crossroads. One path led to forgiveness, the other to letting go. She looked out the window, watching the yellow leaves flutter in the wind, like cherished memories drifting away. She wondered if she had the courage to continue down either path, or if she would remain forever trapped in the painful memories. That question hung in the air, a reminder that life was never simple, and neither was love. Emily understood that her journey was far from over, it was only just beginning. In that moment, she realized that her decision would not only shape her own future but also be a part of a larger story she had yet to imagine. Emily sat in the cafe, the warm light illuminating her face, but her mind was shrouded in the darkness of her thoughts. She looked out the window, where yellow leaves fluttered in the wind, like beautiful memories drifting away, and felt as if she were standing at a crossroads. One path led to forgiveness, the other to letting go. She wondered if she could find light in the darkness of her pain. Her journey had brought her to this pivotal moment. Every moment, every decision had led her here. She recalled the arguments, the tears that had been shed, and the happy smiles that Michael had brought into her life. Their love had once been as powerful as a storm, but now it felt like shattered pieces. She couldn't deny the lingering feelings of love, but the pain from betrayal loomed over her like an unshakable shadow. Will I forever live in the past? She pondered, her heart heavy. Or can I learn to forgive and move forward? She remembered Michael's words, the sincerity in his eyes, and the determination in his voice. She could feel his love. But would it be enough to erase the deep wounds in her heart? She knew that forgiveness was not just a gift for another but also a gift for herself. Forgiveness was the way to free herself from burdens, to avoid being trapped in a painful past. Emily stood up, deciding that she needed to face the truth. She could no longer continue living in uncertainty. She stepped out of the cafe, the cold wind blowing through her hair, bringing with it a sense of renewal. Each step felt like a heartbeat, bringing her closer to the decision she had hesitated to make for so long. As she approached Michael's house, her heart raced. She knew this was a critical moment. She wasn't just there to tell him that she had forgiven him, she was there to assert her growth. She was no longer the fragile girl easily hurt by betrayal. She had learned to love herself more. And now she was ready to open her heart once again. She stood at the door, her hand trembling as she knocked. Her heart felt like it was about to leap out of her chest. But she knew she couldn't turn back. Michael opened the door, and his face lit up with relief and concern when he saw her. "Emily," he said, his voice filled with worry. "You came." "I came to say that I've thought a lot," she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I'm not sure I can forget what happened, but I want to try to forgive." Michael looked at her, his eyes wide with disbelief. "You really want to forgive me?" "I want to learn to love again," she said, her emotions swelling. "Not just for you, but for myself. I don't want to live in this pain anymore. I want to find myself again." "You don't have to do that for me," Michael said, his tone sincere. "But I will do everything to prove that I deserve your forgiveness." "You don't need to prove anything to me," she replied, a gentle smile forming on her lips. "I just need time and space to rebuild what we lost together." They stood there in the quiet space, feeling as if time had stopped. Emily felt a new light emerging within her, like a ray of hope. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but at least she had decided not to let the past hold her back. She had chosen forgiveness, and in that choice, she found her own strength. "Thank you," Michael whispered, his eyes filled with gratitude. "I won't let you down again." Emily nodded, sensing the connection between them gradually being restored. She stepped inside. And they both sat down, beginning an honest conversation about what had happened. They couldn't go back to how things were before, but they could start a new chapter, one filled with hope and love. Throughout the conversation, Emily realized that forgiveness wasn't just an act, it was a journey. She learned that love wasn't always perfect. But it could grow stronger when nurtured with sincerity and understanding. Everyone made mistakes, but what mattered was how they faced and corrected them. As the sunlight began to stream through the window, Emily felt a sense of peace within her. She had decided not to let the pain of the past dictate her life anymore. She had chosen to love, to forgive, and, more importantly, to choose herself. Perhaps life isn't always easy, she thought to herself, but if we can learn from our mistakes and allow ourselves to be loved, we will always find light in the darkness. And in that moment, Emily knew that her journey was far from over. It was only just beginning. She was ready to face new challenges with an open heart and a mature soul. She would not only live for herself but also for those she loved, and that was the greatest strength she could possess. As their story continued, Emily understood that love and forgiveness were the most precious gifts life could offer. And she would never stop believing in their power.